Yes, and yes, what no man. And yes, what no man. Yes, yes, oh, say yes, what no man. And yes, not. Yes, and yes, what no man. And yes, not more. See the number 2 million on the whole job. Oh, yeah, what don't fool me? Why, 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 and your opinion, Peter, and you, why, and Namiosia. Hey, Jenna, me for now, I see what do you see the number 2 million on the whole job. Oh, yeah, what don't fool me? Why, why and you be near Peter and you why and Nami yes, we are. Yes, we are. Hey, say yes, what to man. And yes, not. Hey, say yes, what to man. Hey, and yes, not to man. Hey. One may be a song, so he no yummy was so many one yummy is rabbi breakfast. Hey, I took to swear. Hey, it's me and me, yes, you couldn't want me, it's yes, we are. Yes, we are. Hey, say yes, what to man. Oh, yes, and yes, what to man. Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and come to the chat with session with me, Daniel Dadson, and my special guest this lovely afternoon. I would like to apologize for the late start of the show today due to just a little bit of technical situation. But hey, we are here, and it's a sunny afternoon here in London, and I have my friends in me from different parts of Ghana. We will get to find out shortly exactly where they are. Eben is already here, Joshua is here, and Effe Glover will be joining me pretty shortly. But you heard the song that just played from Eben, Enye Yesu Adoma and Kamayra. Well, he calls that one Yesu. Let me play you this one. Whilst I have all of them here, I mean, what I do is I make sure that I play almost all the tracks for you to have a feel of their music. and then we get into the conversation. But you can keep looking at their lovely faces as they are on right now. But as you are on here, one of the things I want to encourage you to do, I think you can still just head on straight away onto their YouTube channels and start checking them out. Subscribe, first thing you need to do. And after that, I want you to share this broadcast. Make sure you are sharing this live stream. Let's get as much mileage as possible this morning. Is it morning or afternoon? I think it's afternoon. Let me say hello to Effe as well that has joined. Yeah, but so I will be coming back. Let's listen to this song by Eben, and we will do a short one by Effe as well, and then we'll come back. Effe said, oh, time for Bubamo. Media me emotion. Sing mountain town for God. Pharmacy, would you know now? Right. Okay. So that is a feel of the song from Joshua. Let me go to my guests. Don't worry, I'll bring you Effe's song a bit later on the program. Let me go to my guests. Hello, lady and gentlemen.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. Can you all hear me?
Yes, please. Yes,
hello.
please.
Wow. I'm so excited to have you all this afternoon. How are you all doing?
Yeah, fine by the grace of God and you.
Well, I'm just glad to hear you.
Well, it looks like you are all in the weather. Like it looks sunny pretty much where you are.
It looks like what?
I said it looks sunny. It looks like there's a nice weather where all of you are.
Yeah, sure.
Because the weather is great here in the weather is great here in London. So let's get into the conversation. There is the saying that ladies first. So Effe, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
I'm going to start with you if you are ready. Yeah, I know
I'm
that
ready.
you know all over social media. Great. All over social media, Effe Glover. I saw your video a couple of weeks back, and I was like, wow, this is fantastic. So you know, as it is, I reached out, tried to get in touch, and tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Effe Glover? For those who are encountering you for the first time, who know much about you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello. I can hear you now. And thank you so much for this opportunity. And I salute all the great ministers as well. Hello. I take it. I wouldn't say much about me. I just have a few things to say.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I wouldn't say much about me, just a few ones. Effe Glover is a small girl, as you all know, a small girl with a big God, whom in this end time God has selected among the few into his vineyard to proclaim his goodness through gospel music. That's all.
Oh, okay. So you describe yourself as a small girl with a big God.
Yes.
Is there any reason why? Is there any reason why you you describe yourself as?
Yes, yes, yes. There is a reason to it. Because once you are a child of God, you're always small in His eyes, and God is your coverage, and he covers you wherever you go. And so He becomes big, whereby you become small.
Right. Okay. Okay. Let me come,
Hello.
Joshua. Let me come to you. Yeah. Hello, Joshua. Joshua, let me come. So, tell me. I mean, Joshua Ahenkora. I know you've been possibly doing this for a while, but tell me a little bit more about yourself in a sentence. Who would you say Joshua is?
Um. Okay. I'm Joshua Henka, and I live in Obuasi, and from a family of five, and I'm the third born, and I actually started ministry in Obuasi here, and it's been like 9 years ever since I started ministry,
Wow.
and nothing much to say about me. I mean, I'm just a young guy who just loves God and wants to do His work. So basically, oh,
Hmm. Wow. You're also saying that you okay. Right. Eben, let me come to you. Do you have a lot to say or you have little to say?
hello.
I also have little to say.
Yeah, hello, Eben.
Wow.
I'm what do you have to say?
Um, just to say that we have been the music people, like a music person from childhood. Ever since I got to know myself, it's been music all throughout, and anywhere people know me is, I think, it's basically because of music, and we're still doing what we do best for God. That's that. That's it.
Oh, okay. Right. Good. I'm going to come back to you, Effe. Okay.
Hello.
So
Yeah.
yeah, Joshua, I can hear
Well.
you. Effe, I'm coming back to you. So the
Okay.
gospel music's for you. I mean, most of the time, the people that I talk to tell me that, oh, I used to sing from childhood, or I come from a family of musicians, or maybe I got introduced to music along the way. So, how did music start for you, Efe?
I would say growing up, I never thought I would be in the gospel fraternity because I always wanted to be a dancer. Yes, today I want to shock people. I always
Oh,
wanted to be
okay.
a dancer. Yeah, a
Nice.
dancer and sing in secular music, you understand, dancing, shaking myself. I always wanted to be that. And so those who knew me way back in secondary school and JSS primary school, everybody knew me to be a dancer.
Okay.
Hello? Yeah, everyone knew me to
That's
be a
that's
dancer.
yeah. Hello. Go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah, everyone knew me to be a dancer until one fateful day. And right after secondary school, I had an accident. And then I had an encounter with God that all things could be changed
Oh
in my
dear.
life. Yeah. And so it was more like a communication. Like you have this voice and you can use it in praising me. Okay. And then I was like, oh no, I can't be this person. Because everyone used me to be Neni Suyeshe, Neni Suyeshe. And to date, and most of my Facebook friends don't know the other side of me. Everyone knows that this girl is calm, cool, but because I haven't disclosed this thing to anyone before, I am not that all cool, but when grace founds you, He molds you into something new, and this is how far the Lord has brought me.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Let's if you are comfortable to talk about that experience, tell me a
Okay.
little bit more. So, you started and you saw yourself as somebody who rather wanted to be a dancer, but
Yeah.
an accident happened and that changed your life. I mean,
Yeah.
people that through certain experiences, but they still go ahead to do what they feel like doing. So, what changed for you? What's the actual turning point? Why did you decide to
Yeah.
take a different path rather than
That
still
was
following?
that was way back 2012. Yeah, I remember clearly 2012 at Kolebu. I nearly lost my leg. Yeah, I
Mm.
nearly lost my leg. And seeing the people on the bed, some were screaming. It was an emergency ward. And seeing people lying on the bed, blood all over, a whole lot of. And so I heard this voice that I have saved you. I have saved you. So I knew at that point in time, I had to change my life.
Wow.
I had to change from who I was into a
Hmm.
new thing. And this is how far the Lord has brought me. It was a terrible experience. Yes,
Wow.
it was a terrible experience.
Wow. Hmm.
Yeah.
That is quite remarkable. Amen.
Mm.
Amen.
That,
Tell me
that's
your
that's an
story. So
experience.
you yeah, yeah, tell me your story. You have been like you said around gospel music for a while now. Is your story different? What is it that shifted you into gospel music? Tell me about it.
Yes, I would say mine is totally different. Actually, for me, I had the privilege of growing up in um, a church. I've been a church boy from day one of my life, and also having to have a big sister who also sings and was always taking me to rehearsals here and rehearsals there. So for me, it's been music from my infancy till this time. So gospel has always been my thing. Yeah.
Hmm. So I assume that you did not what's the word? You did not have that experience of being the kid on the block kind of thing.
Yeah,
you,
sure.
you, you did not you did not experience a little bit of
No,
clubbing, a little bit of there, not at all, did you?
No, no, I never knew any of such. Yeah, I was that cool church boy since my childhood, and it's been the same till
So
now.
did they used to call you did they used to call you a sopho, like
Yeah,
pastor, and call you to pray
yeah,
every time?
yeah, everywhere. Because if my memory serves me right, from my primary days, I had to be singing. So from there, I was always seen as that Osofo boy. JHS, I was the music director, so that Osofo boy too is
Wow.
there. Then secondary school days, I'm the Protestant president and music director here. So okay, that Osofo boy. University days, the music director, the president, Osofo boy. So it's been Osofo and music person all through the journey.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. Joshua, I think I've just lost Joshua now. If he comes back, um, Eben, I'll come to you for us to talk about your music and the style of song that you chose to release. But Efe,
Okay.
hello
Yeah.
Efe, can you hear
Yeah.
me now?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I
Great,
can.
great, great, great. So Efe, tell me about the music side. Okay, you move from dancing to music. But your music music or your single that I have seen on YouTube, it's much more of like a slow, calm ballad kind of what we call worship. You know, it doesn't reflect the Effe that you described, because I was thinking that okay, even if you've come, to do gospel music, you'd have done something that could let you dance or something. So what informed your choice of style, or what informed the style of music you decided to do?
Um, you know, when you move from your old self into your new being, everything changes. And so I discover myself
Okay.
in the gospel world not to be, someone in a hashy way, but then in a cool form of music. And the one who trained me, I don't know if you heard of his name, Pastor Bright Gold. There's more of him running.
Right.
Yes, Bright Gold,
Okay.
Pastor Bright Gold, yes. And another one too is Gabby, Gabby Ankara of Mentor 7
Right.
fame. Yeah, and Project Fame as well. They were the one who trained me. And so, I mean, being under those people, I felt like this is who I am. Yeah, they grew me into who I am today, and I can't change it. Yeah, I can't change it. So that's all.
Oh, okay. All right. So how has
They are the cool
how has
type.
the how has the new how has the new identity been for you? I mean, identity in Christ first. Okay, so identity in Christ first, and then identity as in the of music that you are now exposed to. How has that been for you? Have you adjusted well?
Yes, it's a great feeling. You are not supposed to fake who you are. You have to be real. And so I discovered that this is the real me. And so it's well accepted. Being in Christ and among all my peers in the community, wherever I found myself, I think this new me has been well accepted. And I like it myself. Yeah.
Mm, mm, great. Eben.
Yeah,
Right.
really.
Okay. Yeah, Eben.
Yeah.
So, tell me, how long ago did you decide to kind of put out your music uh, commercially, if I should say, and what informed that? I mean, you've been doing music in church all this while. Why did you decide to now record and put your music out there?
Oh, okay. I think it's a good one. All throughout, I've always not considered bringing the song out because I always
Yeah, hello. And if you can hear me, it looks like your line is not a bit clear, and I've lost you there. Let me see if I have Eben back. Anyway, okay, we'll try and get
yeah.
Eben back
Okay.
but for now, if let me okay, Eben. All right, do I have you?
Yeah, hello. But I can hear you
Yeah,
well.
hello, Eben. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I was saying that it was around 2015. Can you hear me well?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, around 2015 when I realized there were so many songs the Lord was giving me, and I actually realized that um, I have to bless most people with such songs and to be singing always to myself and to God. So it was then that I started looking at coming out, but I didn't give so much attention to until last year, ending of last year, when God brought some people my way who also had to push me one way or the other, and I had to do this recording, not just this one, but we did a series of songs, and this was the first one we brought out.
Mm. So are there other songs? Is this your was that your first?
Yeah, on the day we
Was that your
recorded
first single?
live, we did 2 other live recordings, which will be releasing hopefully before the year ends. But this is the first song I actually came out with. Yes.
Right. Okay. So tell me about the inspiration behind that particular song. It looks like the the rhythm you chose is or was different from the one that we're used to. This sounds more a bit like Southern Africa influence. So what is it that influenced your choice of rhythm?
Okay. I remember when we began to look at which song to come out with first. I mentioned that throughout my journey of music, I have been that when it comes to school music, I'm part of the contemporary bash. When I come home, I'm a local person because my church is in Kumasi and we do more of local songs. So I was thinking as to which song will actually be a blessing to both sectors that I belong to. And looking at the
Okay.
history, the rhythm and all about it satisfies both sides. It doesn't look more contemporary, it doesn't look more of local sort of, but it's blesses and benefits each side. So I was like, let's come up with this one first because with that, the people in my local assembly will be able to associate themselves with my first release, and also the people who know me in the other life, the contemporary one, will also be able to accept the song. So I think that's basically the reason why Yes We had to come with a bit of a mixture, a feel from both sides.
Hmm. So obviously, because it was a live recording, you work with a team of
Sure,
singers and musicians.
sure.
Yeah. So how were you able to get them to buy into the idea? Because I know that sometimes one of the most challenging thing is being able to get people to interpret your idea, your passion,
Yeah.
and how to express it. So how were you able to get them to understand it?
Fortunately for some of us, I think God, because in His timing, He wanted us to come out with this. He brought people our way who would also move along the vision. And let me say that the Eben Visfat you see, the Visfat is not just any name, but it's a name captured from Habakkuk 2, where the Bible says that for the vision is set for an appointed time. So Visfat vision, IS is sets SFA. So Visfat vision is set for appointed time. So I was always believing God to let this happen at His
Oh,
own
okay.
time. Yes, and at a good time, God gave my church, my local assembly, the team of instrumentalists you saw. So they are all people that I play with in the church, every one of them.
Wh-
And
Which church, which church do you attend, if I can ask? Which church do you
that's
attend?
Grace Baptist Church, Ambokom Kumasi.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yes,
I know Grace Baptist.
yes,
Yeah, I know Grace Baptist Church.
yes. So the
I know.
team were already enthused about the whole idea and were willing to assist. So when I told them I wanted to do something of a live show, a live recording, they were so much interested and were bringing ideas here and there. We got video guys who were related to us and could understand and not give us any huge bills and all that. We got sound guys who were also accommodating and all that. So I think God came through with the right people at this time for us, and it helped.
Mm, okay. Effe, is that the same for you? Obviously, your production was quite a little bit different. Okay, because I saw your production. I think you did a live studio production. So what went it? How did everything come together? Tell me about it.
Okay, let me talk about the inspiration behind the song first. Hello, sir.
Right.
Yeah, let me talk about the inspiration behind the song first. Then I'll zoom into that. Um, I titled the song "My Lord, I Believe" because when you look around, everything seems against us. In this pandemic, most of our friends have lost their lives, work, properties, and all that. And so one day I was
Mm.
just praying, and I was talking to my husband that what should we do? He said that let's talk to God. Because all this while people have been saying, please bring something out. We want to hear you. And I will tell them that no, it's not the right time for me to do something. I'm not in a rush. I want to hear the voice of God. And then one day after praying, I just heard a voice that I believe when you believe in God, everything will not be against you because He's the God of possibilities. And then He's going to work everything
Mm.
around for your good. And so we joined all these things together. And we brought the song out. My production was just an easy one because my husband per se is a medially inclined person, and together with a few friends of his, they have a studio, a recording studio, and so it wasn't that much of a problem to me. We talked to his friends, and they were all into it, and so we work hand in hand, and everything was being in a place. Yeah, so that's what I can say.
Mm.
It wasn't much of
Oh,
yes, it
okay.
wasn't much
That
of a
that was
problem at all.
that that it looked like you are one of the best ones who didn't have to maybe spend a lot spend a lot to do the production because your
Not
hobby
at
was quite
all.
involved. Your friends and that. Oh
Yes,
wow, okay, you
yes,
are blessed.
yes.
Let me find Joshua. Joshua, are you back with us? Can you hear me? Hello, Joshua. Are you back? Can you hear me? All right. Okay. I can't seem to hear Joshua at the moment. Just maybe you need to check if you can get a good connection, and let's see if we can get your side of the story and see how you do. Eben, I let me ask you. There is one. What's the word? So there is currently this idea going around that gospel artists, especially up and coming gospel artists, don't support each other. Okay, you happened to get a team of musicians around you that help you put everything together. So talk to me. Have you first and foremost have you heard about that sort of saying that gospel musicians, new gospel, they don't support each other, they are not one, and that kind of thing. Have you heard about it? And
Yes, I have.
how true do you think how true do you think that is, and what can we it is true?
Yes, I have, and yes, I believe it's happening. Um, Personally, when I began to come out with this song, for some of us, from the time that people were expecting us to release songs, somebody will say that it's past and gone. So people never thought we would consider coming out at this time. So I felt like, okay, then at this good time, we have
Mm,
had a number of people all over in the industry who we could speak to here and there to help give us ideas, directions, and push us. But you speak to people that you trust and believe, and it's become a 9-day wonder, as if the person is not okay with either helping you or giving you ideas and all that. And it's something I realized, and one time I even posted on my page that, wow, should you die today, you get all these people speaking positive about you, but even just
Yeah.
posting your flyer
yeah.
or it become difficult for people to do. So I think it's happening. And personally, I sit down and ask myself, why should it be so? Because we are all gifted in different areas. We are all blessed in different people at different times and with different programs and music. Why should we have issues promoting or talking good of each person on our pages and all that? I think it's happening.
Hmm. Hmm. Effe, what do you think? What would you say to that? Do you have any experience of maybe people that you feel that they are within the gospel space and can support? They are not doing that. What is your story?
So I'm even speechless. One thing that I believe is when you care for your other brethren, and then they also care for you. Someone like me, I care
Okay.
for all. There was a time that I posted something on my page that love must not be selected. Love must not be selected. Despite the fact
Hmm.
that you know the person or not does not mean that okay, this person is in this camp, I must support this person. The other person is in this camp, I must not support. I am not in support of that. I support everyone. Anybody that has followed me on social media knows what I'm talking about. When I see your post, I will share. If I'm supposed to write something about it, I'll write something about it. That is me. My husband keeps telling me that we have individual differences. What you think is right may be wrong for someone. And so that is their own opinion. But what our brother is saying, we have to take it into consideration that we are all working for God. Even though we have diverse gifts, but it's for a purpose to proclaim the goodness of God. So why the competition among ourselves? Sometimes I think about it and I can't think for as other people will say, why the competition? Because when you promote your friend, definitely somebody from nowhere will also promote you. I don't promote my friend expecting my friend to promote me back. No. I feel like it's a ministry and we all have to help it to grow. And I don't know for my other ministers, but I think some of them are really doing well, like Mr. Paulo, Theo Praise. There are a few others who are pushing this agenda that we should help ourselves so that the up and coming we will grow and become better in the music industry.
Hmm. But Efe, Eben, and Joshua, there is this argument, right? That sometimes the those of us who are like new gospel musicians or those who have just set out to record commercially, the content that we put out, it's not all that quality or it's not all that up to stand. So it becomes difficult for um, people to support and kind of throw their whole weight behind it and say, you know what, it's endorsed. It becomes difficult for them to do that. Do you think that is the case? Let me start with you, Eben.
Yes, I think that could be a reason. And for me, I would also say that if your content is not right, then you can also push for much support from people who have a standard. Because if I want Koda to give me attention, if I want Neokai and all of these big shots to give me attention, then I should know their style of music that they will appreciate, and I should be able to let them also know what I'm doing as best. So I think basically, if my content is not right, then I shouldn't even seek for any applause from such ends. However, there are a number of these youngsters who are trying, although the songs may not suit to the Joe Metal levels, to the Coda levels, but yes, also are very okay. And some of these big shots can just have a slight look at and say that, let me hold your hand, let me teach you, let me help you. So I think we can take the two and match it up. Yes, the content may not be right and you want get any support from such corners. But if the content is right, then we believe that some of the big shows will help hold the hands of these younger ones and help them stay in the industry and do better.
I will return to this. Let me see if Joshua, do I have you now? Your line
We
seemed
missed you.
to
Yeah.
be giving you.
Can,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Okay. Hello. Yes, I think I can
Can you hear
hear
me
you.
now?
Let me. Right. I think yeah. Okay, I can hear you. Right. So quickly, Joshua, let me come back to you. Yeah. Tell me a bit more about yours. You've told me that you are based in Obuasi. That's where you started.
Yeah.
So is this your first single for Famicia? Is that your first or second single? And tell me a little bit more about how music started for you before I get into other things with you.
Okay, so it's actually my fourth single. I released the first single in 2015, which is in Nyonyam Yawodia. Then in 2017, we released Brood Over Me. And then in 2019 too, we released My Testimony. And 2022, we released Famicie. So it's actually my fourth single now. And you see, I started this whole thing in Obuasi. And during those times, Obuasi is now developing, getting I'm used to this music kind of thing because it wasn't really here. Okay, so it was in 2013. That is when God directed me to start my event in Obuasi. So I was actually the only individual person to host a show in Obuasi. Previously, there's been
Wow.
groups that has been doing their shows and all that. So I was the very first person as an individual to host a show in Obuasi. And I think right now we are doing very well. The people are getting used to it. A lot of guys too are coming out and all that. So it hasn't been easy, Obuasi, knowing the kind of people we have, even the kind of music we want to do. So the support hasn't really been there, but I believe God time is always the best. Gradually we are getting. So basically that's something like.
If you say that support hasn't been there, exactly what kind of support? Because I've been speaking to and Eben about
Okay.
support as in peer-to-peer support from our friends who are also in ministry. So in your you say the support hasn't been there. What exactly do you mean?
Okay, support in terms of the kind of music and this show kind of thing that we are doing, the events, which is so new to them. So most people wouldn't want to, I don't know how to put it, if it's like they don't see the essence or the need to support you or push you into what you are doing. It's more like everybody is waiting for it to happen. When they see the good side of it, then they would want to put in their money into it. So it is not like in Accra or Kumasi where you can go to company to seek for sponsorship or anything. You see, they always want to see the end product before, like they'll be like, so this is what this guy has been trying to do. So then let's push him. You see, because it's a new thing that we started here. It hasn't been easy because the people are not really getting it. For instance, nobody will sit there and say that I want to give you 5,000, 4,000 cities to just even go and rent lights to do an event. Do you get it? Because they wouldn't see the need
Okay.
because it is new to them, right? Do you get it? So I believe
Right.
they are all waiting to see the end product of the whole thing. Then they can really see the essence to put their money into it. But I think gradually we are getting there. Yeah. Last year, for instance, was my first time I did a ticketed event. And by the grace of God, it went well. So you can just imagine for
Hmm.
6 good years, we've been doing this free. We are not even getting anything out of it. You see, so we saw it to be that this says yes was a seed sowing moment. And once the people get used and they saw the need in what we are doing, patronizing the tickets in our 7th year wasn't really hard for us.
Right.
So we are believing that
Okay.
gradually their eyes are opening to this whole thing. So if I'm saying the support, that is where I'm coming.
Right. Let me. Effe is in Accra, so Effe. According to Joshua, Charlie, all the big companies and all the money is in possibly Kumasi, Eben. So you guys, tell me, tell me, is the story different? Because according to Joshua, Blasi, people are not really forthcoming with sponsorships, forthcoming with buying tickets for events. Have you guys done events on your own, and has it been patronized? You guys had chips coming from anywhere?
Yeah. Can you hear me, sir? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Effe. Go ahead.
I have
Yeah, go ahead,
done
Effe.
that
I can hear
once.
you.
Yeah, I have done that once. That was 2017. Yeah, 2017, and the support was massive from my pastors, from my friends, from my parents. I think it was marvelous. So I can't complain. But from there, I couldn't continue because of one or two challenges. So I couldn't continue. But for my first event that I hosted, Masida 2017 was marvelous. Was marvelous. So I can't complain. Yeah. I got the support. Yeah.
Mm. But can you share with us what the challenges were that kind of stopped you from continuing?
I moved from where I am to a different place, so that was it. And getting
Okay.
the community in a different place too is a whole lot of a problem. But now we are still working. We are still
Right.
working on things. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Eben, Kumasi, how is Kumasi like when it comes to the sponsorships and support? Because I hear that Charlie, if a song becomes a hit in Kumasi or if an artist become a hit in Kumasi, then that is it. They keep flying. So tell me, what is it like in Kumasi?
I think Joshua will even be able to speak on behalf of Kumasi to some point because he's mostly here. But just to say it in general,
Oh, okay.
2013, 2014, we staged a yearly event for my church group, which I organized for. But basically, it always has to start with you. Always has to start with your finances and your connections you have. So if you are able to penetrate through, like you were saying, that's when you'll be able to get people who would start giving you some attention. Even your colleague ministers, sometimes they even come in on the bill and all that. They are not so, because everyone seems to be struggling one way or the other. So even coming for free and traveling here and there, they all don't want to like take it on that free note. So it's when the program is taking some strength, it's getting some grounds. That's when you'll be getting some support, possibly from your church or from some big people in the church or the community. And I think with that program, that is what happened. But it ended around 20, when we did the 2013, 2014, because of work transfer, I had to move out of Kumasi and we couldn't do that again. We are believing God in the future if He wants us to do it, we will. So I think the support, like Joshua was saying, is not that easy.
That's interesting. I mean, one big area I believe that you can all relate to is the area of promotion when it comes to getting your music out there. So I want to take your stories and I want to know how journey has been like for you since you all decided to put your music out there. How are you promoting it? What sort of channels are you using? What has been the response? What has been the support? and that kind of thing. Effe, let me start with you. Ladies first.
My senior ministers, they all attest to it that it has not been easy. It's not easy promoting your song. And one thing that I believe is social media has come to stay. And for me, it's working for me, because some of us maybe wouldn't have that amount to go and pay 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 to different radio stations to be playing your song. And so you use the social media platform and promote it. And maybe when you have friends, colleagues who are in the media, it also helps. Someone like me, I have friends who are in the media circle, and so they help me. Yes, they do. They do help me. Nana upon Vision One, Pastor Alpha, Accra, Nice FM, they all do help. But it's not easy promoting your song out there. It has never been easy. It has never been easy. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Wow. Joshua, you just released Famisia, I think 2 weeks ago. So how are you promoting it? What channels are you using?
Yeah.
How has it been like?
I think for the promotion side of the song, we know a couple of the radio guys that we've been talking to that are helping us. I mean, they are hitting the song on their radio and all that. But everything, I think, to me, boils down to the fact that it has to be money. Because, I mean, you can't just give the song to these guys without paying. Even some of them would charge you before they even play song on air. So that part or that money is there to push it. Then you get relationships that are willing to play for you, and even with that, I mean, they will do their best, but it wouldn't be like that. Maybe when you have money, you are just promoting. You are going to the radio station, giving them money to even play the thing for you. And I know and I understand some of will do it out of relation, or maybe once they hear the song and it is very good, they will do it. But I mean, it has to do with money. It has to do with money. But for Poissy here, we are doing our best with the radio stations that are here, and they are playing it. They are playing it real hard here. They are really playing it here.
Right.
Yeah, and we are doing the social media
Right.
too, and we are hoping it goes out well. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know if what you say will be so different from what your colleague ministers have said.
Same thing. Same
But
thing.
let me pose this one to you. One I know myself because I've worked in the space, and I've also been on the other side where I produce music, and I know the challenge where you need to get your music on air. It's a very difficult one. And one common thing I've been hearing since I started having a chat with a lot of new upcoming gospel musicians is the payment. That you need to pump in money. Do you think that it's really justified for radio stations to charge, or for presenters to charge you money before they pump? Because at the end of the day, you are giving the station content. Without your music, there can't be a music show. So do you think that is justified? How can we how get into a win-win position with this one?
Hello.
Yeah, hello, Eben.
Okay. I think it's a good question, and I want to answer this taking into perspective the whole economic hardship thing. On the
Okay.
On the fairgrounds, we say that yes, they shouldn't be charging, because in any way, they are also benefiting from the songs they are playing. We are making their program lively and all that. But you see a presenter and he tells you that I'm also trying to build my career through this station, and I'm not being paid for what I'm doing, or I'm not even paid well. So to help me, you should also, I should also help you. So it's a 50-50 thing. So when they start talking like that, you have no option but to more or less try to at least soften the person's pocket, and he also comes through for you. So I think for me, I would say that they shouldn't be charging, but the presenters themselves are finding it hard to survive and finding ways and means to also move along with us and take something small, help us on to be out there.
Right. I think you answered this fantastically. If there's any word like that, you've answered it very well. Taking into consideration or coming from the angle of the economic situation, where if somebody says, "Okay, I have this platform, I'm happy to play your music and also get to grow your song," but then this is the situation, and can you help me and let me help? I think it's a very it's a quite it's a fair what do you a fair transaction, but there has been reports, and especially last week's Chatwith session that I had with Lizzie Ntiamwa and a couple of other ministers, Charles, and there was this that came up that sometimes presenters would take the money and they will not even play the song, and it's so difficult. So why do you think that sometimes is the case, and what can be done? Effe, do you have any experiences you can share? And
Honestly, I don't. I don't. I have never encountered that before, so I can't say much about it. Maybe our brother Eben
Okay.
will help.
But
Yeah.
have you heard any have you heard anything like that, where maybe presenters take money, especially for new artists? I don't think the well-known music artists face that challenge. I don't think so.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I have. I can't deny that I haven't. I have heard that before, but personally, I haven't experienced it, so I can't say much about it. I think they do that when they listen to the song and the content
Mm,
is not up to their expectation, and then they have to drop it. But my concern is you can also help equally when that up and coming brings something to you and you feel like, oh, the content is not up to expectation, then you are not supposed to take his or her money. Okay, you are not supposed to take his or her money with the
okay.
aim of
Okay.
helping that fellow that, okay, I'm going to play your song. Meanwhile, you know that the content is not up to expectation, and so you are just not going to play it. I think it's a heartbreaking thing. You just have to be fair to them. You just have to be
Mm,
fair to them. Yeah.
mm. Eben, what do you have to say? I'm just loving the comment on there.
I think personally, it's not happening to me, but a few of the people who have had, who have gone through this is because some of the presenters, like if he said, they may not love the song, but because of the money, they take it and can play it 1, 2 times. And sometimes they will just video themselves or record themselves and send you for you to see that they have broadcasted your song for you. Just 1 time, then they are done. They won't play again because to them they have given you a third of the money you brought. But if the song is nice, then they will keep playing until when they may get another new song to counter that. But I think for the few people I've
Right.
heard, it's because of the song not being nice.
Mm. So let me ask you guys. So as for new musicians, for new people that are coming up, what can we do to navigate this challenge properly? One, make sure that, I mean, if we have to promote our music and invest money, part away with some money for presenters to play, how can we ensure that they would do that effectively? And if the content is not that good, how can we ensure that we don't also throw money away and then the song doesn't get played, but then you've just parted with money that could have been used for other things? What can we do basically? What can new artists do? Effe, you want to help us, because I see the anointing is on you. The anointing is on you this afternoon, so help us.
Personally, on a fairground and up and coming, one, you have to listen, one, you have to learn. Because if you want to break even into this industry, you have to learn from your predecessors what they did right and what they did wrong. You have to consider all those things before you bring something out, and make sure that you get the right people. Okay, you get the right people. Hello.
Okay.
Make sure that you
Yeah,
get
hello, I
the
can
right
hear you.
people. Yes, when you want to bring out something, you go to the right people for direction. You can't just bring anything out there. For instance, if I am to bring something out of which I have no idea, maybe I have the voice, but I don't have the technical know-how, how to promote my song, how to get good lyrics, good content, how the song is going to be arranged, then I need to get someone who has in-depth knowledge about that. I shouldn't say, oh, I have the gift, so I can just bring anything out there. You wouldn't get anybody to support, because you have so many people in the gospel fraternity, which you are doing so well. And so if you are bringing something out there, it must be solid. Get people who have knowledge about it, who can support you. Don't do things on your own. Get people involved so that anything that you put out there, even if it's not up to the expectation, it will be a close mark. Yeah.
Eben, with what Effe just said, and let me zero into um, getting the right people. And this time, let me move away from the presenters and radio stations small. With producers, how do you ensure that you get the right producer to work with? Because I think it all begins from there, where you need to make sure you are working with the right producers such that they would be able to impact the quality of the music that you put out. So how do you ensure you do that?
Um, just to answer this, I would ask. Well, I'll mention one thing I've been asking myself. Sometimes I'm like, when we're growing up, we heard all the good songs from the daughters, the Tigo sisters, and all of that. We never heard
Yeah.
songs that were so like not so good. But these days, the songs which are even good, they don't last long in the system. And I think, like you have just
Yeah.
said, it will start from the producers. Producers now have to be able to tell the fact to the face of the person. I've gone to one producer, music producer, who had to sort of do hide and seek with the person trying to get his attention, because the lady's songs are not nice,
Okay.
and he doesn't
Oh,
want to make the
yeah.
lady feel bad, and the lady will pass the house and he will pass here, and I'm like, no, tell the truth to the person that this song I can't be associated with. So I think when it happens like
Charlie.
that, it will help us to learn more, because I've been saying that the era of the coders and all of that, it will surely be on the decline. New people have to be learning, new people have to be coming into the scene. But if we don't get the right people to show us that this is what we did
Exactly.
that sustained this song till this time, how will we also impact the next generation? So, right from music producer, the sound engineers, and all that, they should be able to say that Joe, this is your song. Yes, you have written it well, but it sounds well in your ears. It doesn't sound well to me, and it will not sell. So go back, sit on it, come back, and I'll help you to rephrase this and this. Then it will help.
Wow. Wow. You know, this brings to mind a story that I heard Sonny Badu shared. I think I've had the opportunity of interviewing him a couple of times in the past before he moved to the States when he was in London. And he shared this story where his first album, okay, Kwame Yeboah, the legendary, producer, Kwame Yeboah did that song. So he shared that when he went to record the song, Kwame was like, you know what? I'm not recording you. Go and pay for vocal coaching. Make sure you do that for about 3 months and come back. And at that time, he was a praise and worship leader, a drummer. He used to sing in church. I mean, he was the Sonny Badu. People he sings and people hail him all over the place. And he was like, "What are you talking about?" But then he said he had to swallow his pride because he really wanted to record with Kwame Yeboah. He really had to swallow that pride. He listened and went back. Vocal coaching. 3 months, came to me and said, "Okay, I've done what you said I should do. Can we record?" So, unknown to him, the first time he came, Kwame Yeboah recorded him. When he tried to do the song, Kwame recorded the vocal. And then after the training, after the 3 months, when he started to sing, recorded it and then called him out of the vocal booths and played the two for him to listen to. So play that. It's like, listen to yourself 3 months ago and listen to yourself now. Okay, so that single advice, so that single advice that he took was like a turning point for him as a singer. And what you are saying, I'm just wondering how many singers are going to listen to a producer who says that, can you go back and take vocal lessons before you come? But that is the reason why we are having this conversation. That's why I love to chat with all of you, because we get to know some of these things, and it helps our friends out there, so that it's not that somebody doesn't like you, but at the end of the day, for you to be able to give Jesus the best, you need to go through a process of good preparation. You need to go through a process of good preparation. So just what do you think? Let me ask. Okay, Joshua is back now. Let me ask all of you. So what do you think?
Still on the ropes, but still punching. An ill-tempered game of Villa Park. Finishes Aston.
All right, okay. So sorry for the noise. So let me ask all of you, what do you think that
More crucially,
we can
all 3 points. What a time to get your first Premier League win in 11 games.
Bear with me. I'm having some feedback.
They go to within 4 points.
Okay, all right. Sorry about that. I was having some feedback. Just kindly check for me sound device that is loud, so that you lower it for me. Okay. All right.
Yeah, listen, they just have to go over the line today. Don't really care how they did it. Trezeguet stepped up twice.
Joshua, I think if you can lower, I don't know if you're watching the football or something.
Oh, okay.
If you can hear me.
Okay.
Yeah. So it looks like the television is very loud.
So is it okay now?
All right, great. So yes, okay. So I was asking that with this being said, how do you think we can is it, I don't know if it's assist, or how do you think that we can get our colleagues to know that, listen, this is what you need to do before you come out. You can't just bring any kind of music out there and then complain that, oh, you don't receive the support, DJs are not playing your music, nobody likes your song, that kind of thing. How do we get people to understand that quality is important when it comes to producing music? Effe, let me start with you.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, I can hear you.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
hello,
can
Effe, I
hear
can hear you. Did you hear the question? Yeah. Did you hear the question? I say,
Not
how do
at
you think
all.
we can get? Okay, all right. So I was asking that, how do you think we can get our friends, like a lot of the upcoming musicians, to understand that quality is very important when it comes to production, and that you can't just put anything out there and expect it to sell and expect people to jump onto it and support you? How can we get our fellow
Yeah.
musicians to understand that? What do you think we can do?
I think there should be a comparison. You have to compare,
Okay.
maybe choosing two predecessors, maybe your metal or any other person at all. You compare what they put out there, and then you select. You yourself, you do the adjustment, and then you select. You will know that okay, this thing is the quality is 100%, and comparing to this other one is 60%. So why is it so? Then you go back, you do a review, okay, you do assessment on the songs. Then you realize that the production of this one is of high quality than the other. And so one, you need to listen. You need to listen. You need to listen. I keep telling people, listen, listen and learn. When you learn, you grow. When you listen, you get the experience. But this time around, it's more of I know it all, so why should I listen? I know it all, why should I learn?
Okay.
When you don't learn, you can't put yourself on that scale. You always draw back. You will be
Hmm.
drained because there are so many people out there putting good stuff and quality music. Let's use Nigeria and Ghana for instance. Day in and day out, people keep telling us that Nigerians are flying, whereby Ghanaians are not doing that. So I ask myself, what are we not doing right? That Nigerians that are like that and Ghanaians are like that. So what is it? And the thing is,
Hmm.
maybe we are not learning so much that we could do something different or out of the ordinary. And so that is the problem. We have to
Okay.
put ourselves out there. That this is the time for us to learn. This is the time for us to learn new things. That we need to embrace new things. We shouldn't go the old ways. And then with that, you can put quality thing out there. Yeah.
Hmm. Joshua,
Yes, sir.
is it still a learning curve? Yeah, is this a learning curve for everyone? Would you say that we should go the learning curve way, or once you think you have the talent, then it's enough? What do you say?
I believe that it has to do with self-realization, or what we call self-identity. You need to be able to
Okay.
identify, even in businesses, we'll talk about the SWOT analysis. You need to identify your
Right.
strengths, you need to identify your
Okay.
weaknesses, the opportunities. Do you get it? So, as an
Yeah.
individual, as a musician, you need to sit down and analyze yourself. That do I have the capacity to do it big, or do I have to still learn to do it big? Do you get it? So
Mhm.
once you're able to realize that yourself, then you seek help. Okay, you know that you lack certain things. You need to seek help. It doesn't just come. Do you get it? So you need to seek help, and by that you grow with it. And another thing too that I've also
Hmm.
realized is that I think we also need to get to that place where even the team that we want to work with, when it comes to production, we need to understand that um, there are certain people who have built themselves up to the top. So when they are doing it,
Okay.
you could see the excellence in their work. Okay, so maybe you are growing up, you have a team of guys there you've been working with for a very long time. Playing with them for a very
Right.
long time might not necessarily be that they have the capacity in putting up a good production.
Okay.
Because we have
Okay. All right.
we have instrumentalists that play. They know how to play in church. When the church, I mean, they know how to jump. Do you get it? But when it comes to production, putting up
Yeah.
a good music, that capacity might not be there. So sometimes we compromise on these
Okay.
things. And I believe that these things have a lot of influence on our music, because God can give you a very good music. You can receive a very good song from God. But when you don't have the right people working on the song for you, I believe that the song might not meet its, let's say, its needs, or it might not get to the point where God wants it to be, just because the people who worked on the
Right.
song didn't have that capacity to give its best. But we end up compromising because we feel that they are the people we've been working with for a very long time. I mean, this person, let's say he's in my church, he's a sound guy, he has a studio. So once he's in my church, I don't want to go and give it to somebody else once he's in my church. So you see, that kind of familiarity and that relationship is there. So maybe the person too might
Right.
not have that capacity to give the best in the song. You see, so we end up compromising, and even though the song is good, but the quality is not there. So I believe that if we can also get to
Mm.
the point
Okay.
of understanding that we need help in certain things, we will compromise and might not be able to give out our best.
I've learned a lot from what the two of you have shared. Let me go to Eben. Eben, what would you say?
I think they've said it all. But just to add something little, I would say that we also need to be sharing. We need to
Yeah,
share among ourselves,
yeah,
because if you are talking of quality, your perception of quality may not be the same as mine. And
exactly.
you may be in the
Okay.
system with a hit song, your first hit song. It doesn't mean your subsequent ones would also hit. But as we share and know what we are all up to, and I'll be able to know that this second song I'm bringing up, at least I have some strong backup, some checkup with my team, with my colleague, ministers, who know that it's a good song. Possibly if the OGs like
Mhm,
yourself and some of your
mhm,
contemporaries, Radhani,
mhm.
if you could also help set up some institutions like Integrity Music, like the Hill Song Style, where we will have that in Ghana, and it will
Yeah,
help
yeah,
establish this quality among the
yeah,
youngsters. Because
yeah,
now it's
yeah,
almost like
Okay.
every church boy knows how to sing. Every church boy feels he can play music, he
exactly,
can play the song.
exactly.
So we are all trying to not listen to ourselves and listen to any person. Everyone feels he's a singer, and
Mhm.
people are coming out with
Okay.
songs one way or the other. You think it could have taken its time and all that. So I think if such academies or such
Mm.
institutions are
Mhm.
there, some of you who are so experienced in the industry will help shaping up some of us coming up, and the younger ones who are even a little more for them their line of exposure is even becoming worse than ours. For the younger
Mhm.
the youngsters now, it's more of skill and don't talk to me. I have to do
Yeah,
what I want to do
yeah,
after that I want to
yeah.
do it. So I think it will help if such institutions are there.
Mm. Right. So I mean, from what you've said and what I've picked up, it's got more to do with mentorship. So
Exactly.
Sure.
if we can have a mentorship system in place, we can get that. I mean, I'm hopeful that um, when there is a mentorship opportunity, people will take advantage of it, because I speak to my friends. I mean, the people that you mentioned, that those that are my contemporaries, that I by God's grace, we have some good relationship, like Pastor Neo Kine, Pastor Eugene Zuta, Calvin Hammond, Koda. and all these guys, and I talk to them that why don't you mentor people, and they also feedback that a lot of young people don't want to be mentored. They want to bypass the process. You know, they just want to, like you're saying, they feel they are skillful, they are good, and what is taking somebody maybe 10 years to build and then achieve, they want to just so how can we also get to realize that, listen, yeah, how can we get people to realize that, listen, it's not, this thing is not it's not a fast food joint, you know, you can't just breeze through. If it gets done in 5 minutes, it will be consumed in 5 minutes. You know, you need to take your time and build up. You know, you need to take your time and build. How do we get the youngsters to also understand that is what needs to be done?
Okay, so
Yeah,
let me just come in. I think
yeah, Joshua. Yeah, Joshua,
okay,
touch on that for me.
okay, so I think we can look at it from the two sides, the the youngsters and the mentors. Okay, if I can, let me put it that way. Okay, so sometimes I feel
Yeah.
we shouldn't really blame the youngsters as much, because some of them too, you see,
Okay.
the mentors we are talking about, that we need help from them. Sometimes you reach out to them and then it will be like you as a or how more. Do you get it? Sometimes people won't say
Okay.
people have obia or how or related to certain things. Okay, obi or how or approach you one,
Right.
two, three, and then you give him that attitude of as a oh hammer. You see, obi or obe pull it back. Okay, and most of them, to me, I
Mm,
feel they want to see you get too close to them before they decide to even help you. Once you are not that close to them,
okay.
they wouldn't give you that. They wouldn't even mind you because you are not really like that with them. So I believe we can look
Mm,
at it from two sides. You see, what I believe talent there, once you see it, you can easily see it. There are some people that you can see them, then you know that this person has it. He just needs a little push and a sense of direction. Then the person will make it. Do you
okay.
get it? So I believe the mentors too can also. The question we need to ask is that the mentors we are talking about, have they themselves decide to help the youngsters? Because once that question is answered, no, I believe they can. They shouldn't really sit down and wait, or I don't know how to put it. But recently, I just saw Sonny Bedu launch his music
They
academy.
should, they should reach out.
Not reaching out in the
Okay.
sense that
Okay.
they are searching, but there have to be that kind of decision that I want to do this to help the youngsters. You see, when you do that, it also give room for the youngsters to also reach out to them. And I was talking about Sonny Bedu's Music Academy. I just saw it yesterday. You see, I think for him, he's decided to do that to help the upcoming ones. Recently, he unveiled this program he did for the youngsters. I think that they were 21 or so. You see, he just decided, nobody spoke to
Yeah.
him, nobody did anything. He just decided that, yo, there are guys coming out that are good, but I believe that when we help them, when we guide them, they can be better. So let's do this. And there are people too that they will be there when you reach out to them too. Then they will give you that kind of attitude of as oh hamewo tatame. So it makes the youngsters too also want to pull back, because when they seek for the help they don't get it. Do you guys? So they end up wanting to do things their own way. So I think we can look at it
Right.
from two sides. We
Right.
can't just hit on the youngsters. No, some of the mentors too. I mean, sometimes when you reach out to me, I've experienced some before. Do you get it? So
Can
Okay.
I add
I'm,
to
uh,
Joshua's
Okay.
own?
Can I? Can I push you for a name?
No, 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 that one, I beg.
All right, okay. Eben, you wanted to add something to it.
Yes, I wanted to say that, with all that Joshua is saying, I side with him. And even the fact that I also see that some of our old gigs, they feel they are not done with their gigs yet. So
Exactly,
they are
exactly.
not leaving
Okay.
the scene now for you. So they know you have the content, they know you have good music, but to mentor you and rise above them now, no. And I would even say that a good example is this virtual thing we are doing
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
The
yeah.
COVID has really come to expose all of us, new and
Mhm.
old at least.
Yeah.
This virtual thing, MTN will do virtual. Let's say Vodafone is doing virtual and all these, and they were inviting the same crop of musicians.
Mm-hmm.
They will
Mm-hmm.
invite the same people on
Okay.
the bill. And my
Okay.
question is, are these the
Mm,
only gospel singers we have?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't we making
mm,
it boring for those who are even watching on this virtual thing?
Mm-hmm.
Because he watched on MTN and he saw the same people. He came to Vodafone and the same people. And these OGs could have even said that, oh, I have this mentee I am working with. I have these two other small boys
Mm-hmm.
who I
Mm-hmm.
know they can also deliver. Put them on the bill. I can vouch my head for this person and for that. But they don't want to because they feel like, Charlie, and like Jojo was saying, I said, oh, how? So when you reach out, yes, there are some of them, we chat them on social media. You want to just befriend them and even hear one or two things. They'll come and just blue tick you because
Exactly.
I was say, oh, attention. When somebody introduces you to him, he is cool. But the ordinary dream crash, he is willing to listen
Mm-hmm.
to you. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it's something that is a challenge to us as youngsters, and our OGs should look at it for us.
And
woo.
and and
Wow,
and
this one, this one is
I just want to add another thing. But
wow.
there's so much to see when it comes
Yeah,
to this
get
topic.
add something,
There's,
then I'll go to Efe because she's been
yeah,
smiling. I know she has something to say.
there's so much to say when it comes to this topic because we end up blaming the youngsters that they don't have patience, they are not humble, they don't want to wait. So
Yeah.
we end up categorizing the whole issue to the fact that the youngsters are not willing to serve. Do you get it?
Okay.
We put it
Okay.
in that
Okay.
context. So it is just
Yeah.
like this scripture that the Bible talks about. Um, oh, I've forgotten it. That sinti dia ne de ebeba, but the ebenam ne so aba no.
Okay. Right.
Do you get it? You see, when you look at that statement, you see, "Suntu duane deɛ ɛbɛba," but the benam ne so aba no ondi. You see, somebody will commit it. It's more like we're talking about offense here. Somebody will commit an offense. Okay, the person who is the victim will get offended or better take action be. Then we will blame the person that
Yeah.
the Pakono has taken an offense. But we forget that Obina started DB for the person to
Okay.
take an
I get
offense.
you.
Do you get it? So the point I'm trying to make
Okay.
is that
Right.
you're putting Adeni now on the youngsters to make it look like they are not willing to serve. But we forget that Yenena or marriage out to us, gave them a certain kind of treatment to be it also killed some kind of zeal be in them to want to be close or even want to serve or even want to do certain things in order to get certain things. So me, it got to a point I said to myself that I wouldn't get too close to some of these penyofono, but I would stay behind and learn from them. I might not be made there are certain things that
Mm,
I'm learning from Jomet. So there are a lot of things I'm learning from Pastor Isaiah, Eugene Zuta, you can name them, but I'm not really close to them. Not because of anything, but
mm.
um I just want to give that space, you see, and I don't know how to put it. If you can get the picture I'm
Wow.
creating,
I
do
get
you
I
get
get
it?
I get what you I get what you mean. Let me Effe, you have been smiling all through since they started going that tangent. So let me hear from you before we try to wrap up our conversation. What do you have to say as far as this issue on mentorship and then mentees are concerned?
As my senior minister said, it's 50-50. Day in and day out, you hear people saying they're up and coming. Most of them don't respect. They are not humble. As they all said, it's a backlash to the up and coming. It's not so. Some of them they serve, and at the end of the day, the only thing we hear is ombuade. Akawe the ombuade. Meanwhile, it's not so.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so. The whole thing is this our leaders, our predecessors, our those that we are looking up to, some of them are scared.
Mm,
They are very scared when it comes to this up and coming because most of these young ones they are talented, very, very, very talented. I say when they get to the platform, they are going to do marvelous things. And so the story is more like David and Saul. Saul was a king ruling Israel. You have all Israel at your disposal, but still now no shisha David they couldn't because when you say David ever be na nine ahinde na if you also Saul was scared of
I
David.
feel.
And that is what we are experiencing right now. This mentors, they
Mm,
know that you carry something. You have something in you that they can push you up there, but they are scared. But one thing that I want to say is when you have someone up there, definitely one day the person is going to mention your name. The person is going to give credit
mm,
to you. As I started earlier on, I said that Pastor Bright and Gabby, they made me who I am today. They pushed me. They really helped. The person will give you credit. And even if people don't know about you, because your name has been mentioned, people will go back and go and look for who this person is. And most of their followers
right.
will come and follow you back. You understand? And so these people have to help
Mm,
us. Day in and day out, they keep
mm,
saying they are not humble, they are this, they are that. But one thing about me is I'm serving you not because I want something from you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't serve that way. I'm serving you
okay.
because I want to experience something. I want to get something positive that one day when someone asks me about this, I will be able to say something about it. I'm not serving you for you to push me out there because nipa ye
Okay.
nipa ochina bi nto kwa betumi esi ye mu and it's going to be against us. And so I don't expect something in return. But then no, I serve wholeheartedly. I know someone out there, somebody elsewhere will come to my aid and help me. That is me. When I started this whole thing, I had pastors that I could talk to. I have so many people, but nobody helped. It took Pastor Bright from nowhere.
Mm,
He just came in and
mm,
held me and helped. And then everyone that was supposed to help that didn't help now saw the need to help me. And that is it. Maybe as at now you are thinking that this person is supposed to help me. They are not helping. That does not mean that you should stop serving or you should stop learning from someone. You should keep on. Somebody elsewhere will just come in and just hold your hand and just help you. Someone from
mm.
nowhere will just be your God, will just be your savior. That is me.
Okay.
I'm not looking up to anybody.
Okay. Cool. Mm. Okay, Effe, that's a point well made. Now, finally on this particular subject, can we say that, in reference to, can we say that maybe some of us who are youngsters don't also behave ourselves wisely when it comes to that sort of relationship? I mean, Effe, you made reference to David and Saul. One of the chart that was very defining about David during that period of his life was that he behaved himself wisely, to the point that even when he had the opportunity to take Saul out, you know, he said
Mhm.
that, how I do this to the Lord's anointed. So can it also be that sometimes the youngsters that are coming up don't behave themselves wisely, the situation whereby maybe you are recommended a senior somewhere, to one time, maybe it was not a big platform, but maybe a very small, you were recommended and you went there and you do all sort of things, or you went there and because you are very skillful, you wanted to prove that you are the best, and in that process did a lot of things that put you in a bad light. I'm just trying to think aloud here. Can it be the case? Eben, let me come to you before I go to Joshua.
Yeah.
Okay, let me to come in on that. I'll say that yes, yes, because we all have individual background and character traits. You surely get people who would one way or the other disappoint their mentors, and they also lead to they also not trying to help other people. But in as much as we admit that even with your children, you can have three children and not all of them will be the same. But it doesn't mean that you is the
Okay.
one who has the worst life to influence your action on the other two. That tells you that even on
Right.
the level, if you have five people that you are mentoring, should even two of them become
Mhm.
wayward, there are three of them who will leave impactful what you are teaching them. And
Okay.
I think we can use the negative to counter this one. And Danny, just to also
Right.
bring in this one, a question that came to mind is that growing up, we hear of names like Donnie McClurkin, the Ron Kenoly, all of those.
Yeah.
I ask myself, if they never trained people, if they never opened up, if they never gave the chance for others, how would they feel now? Now that Ron Kenoly is so old that he can't even sing on the ranges he's doing. How do you feel if none of
Yeah.
these youngsters are coming to call you or even come to your house to say God bless you for all the music and all that? Your music are out there, they are singing it. Some of them are even doing some renditions with it nicely, and they won't even come and see your face and say thank you. But if you make the move to say that, yes, I am Sonny Bird. Yes, I am Stella Steele. I am Emmy Newman. I'm getting to 60, 70. It's not late. I can still get five people to make some impact in them. One day, these people will also talk to some younger people about you. And before you know, you will have a trail of not less than 30 people you will have impacted because you just took five or three people. So I think it's something they should really be looking at and not always be looking at the youngsters coming to them. They also will need us one day. The self-actualization that Joshua talked about, they also will need it one day.
Mm. Right. Okay. I think that's a point well made. And on that note, let me say a happy birthday to Mama Amy. Mama Amy Newman is 60 years, celebrating
Yeah.
60 years
Yeah.
today.
Wow, happy
I'm
birthday,
glad you
Mama.
mentioned that, Mama Amy. Yeah, wherever you are, we say a happy birthday. Looking as beautiful as ever. I want to wish you God's blessing. Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to read something quickly on this that you said, Eben. I'm going to read something quickly that was put up by one of the proteges for Coda. I mean, so Charles Pettingill has been the keyboard player for Coda for the past 12 years. I think about 10 years, I should say, because I left Takoradi and Charles was the one that came up to do keyboards for ICGC King's Temple, and he went on to play for Coda. So let me read what he's put on Facebook this morning. And he writes that reasons why every good musician needs an Uncle Kofi in his or her life, part one. And he says, it's a bit lengthy, but forgive me, I'll go through quickly. He says, an Uncle Kofi is a man, yet a system of upbringing, a complete blessing package which will be a living proof that God loves you. He is a cover physically and spiritually, and a channel which the Lord will speak to you when your ears are clogged. He is the one that will sit on your happiness, so pride never finds residence in your heart. It may look like he hates at first, but later you will understand him. He is the one who will invest knowledge and understanding into you such that you can handle so much in his absence. He is the one that will monitor so hard and quickly alert you when you are going off. He is the one who will never be too busy to listen to your rantings. He will call you fish so many times you will start considering adding a name, but don't worry. He will not entertain or support wrong behavior or sin, but will be a support system for your restoration. He will encourage you, motivate you to strive to be better than him. That is, if that is possible, then vouch for you with his own credibility. This and thousands more are reasons we young musicians need an Uncle Kofi in their lives. I love much and so grateful for his life. His name is Kofi Duanto. Now, it's on Facebook. So those who are watching, you can just if you search for Charles Single, if you go onto my page this morning, I shared that post. It's a very, very inspiring post. It sits very well with the conversation that has come up, this afternoon. And I would like to thank you all for this. So let's try and end. I mean, it's getting so interesting. We may stay here the whole day. Let's try and end. Let me quickly. Each one of major challenge that you have faced since you started doing music. I mean, not just commercially, but since you started doing music. I mean, for the young men, I know sometimes, Charlie, the ladies are a bit of a problem. I don't know if any of you have faced that. I believe all of you are anointed brothers. But for Effe as well, I know she is married, but I don't know if apart from those kind of challenges, there are others that you face that you can quickly share with us. So ladies first again. Let me start with you, Effe. Share with me what is the major challenge that you have faced since you started doing this.
Using what you have to get what you want. It's the norm of the day, whereby even pastors say this to you before they want to help. And it's a major challenge. Being a lady, that is what you always face.
Wow.
Apart from that, yeah. But I'm married, so
Even when
my
they
husband.
know that even when they know that you are married.
No. After that time, I
I
wasn't
say
married.
even when they know that you are married. Okay, all
No,
right.
as at that time, I wasn't married. But now I'm married, and my husband is doing all the needful. So,
Right. Right. Cool. So that has been one major challenge. Eben, what about you?
I think for me, basically, it has to do with combining my professional life and ministry. It's not that easy, and especially now that I also have a family.
Okay.
So catering for family, have to sponsor the ministry, and with a small budget from your corporate life and the stress with all of that. Sometimes I just sit down like, let me just put all the songs on social media and relax. If it goes, it goes. But sometimes like, no, take your time. One thing over the other. So I think that has been my real challenge so
Right.
far.
Okay. Joshua, what about you?
For me, I can say as of now, it has been finance and it has been money. Okay, that has been the major challenge because
Okay.
right now it's more like I'm the one doing everything, trying to push it, recording. You are the one raising your money to go and do it. I mean, so you end up stepping on a lot of toes. I mean, somebody can be willing to help you. Just for instance, the Famisia song we did recently. I'm just giving an example.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who recorded it is a friend. He's called Daniel Otisapon, and he's a friend. So
Okay.
imagine he's so willing to help you. Okay, and as a DBA more here, you are not paying him. Do you get it? Or any part, it will get to a point where ebehano, do you get it? Because even the kind of attention crowd
Yeah.
Bema or Jumano might be some way because maybe will be a money seeker to do his work, or they're out of relationship no they wow.
Mm.
He can't put Obi Abe to
Wow.
Yanisika no Ejumane to her
Yeah.
embe or dear. Do you get it? So sometimes
Yeah.
no, when the money becomes a challenger, it leads to that point, and you end up stepping on a lot of toes, and you might even lose a lot of good friends because as they feel that you are not treating them well, and sometimes and your fault also. The thing is not there. You get it, but I believe we are all trying.
Somebody would say that there is not
The
there.
Yeah,
there is
that is
not there.
not there.
Right.
You get it, but I believe with time,
Right.
with
Right.
time we will get there. But it's all part of it.
Okay.
Once we don't have the
Okay.
rainy there,
Okay.
it's all part of it.
Okay. All right. Okay. I want to really thank all of you for your time this afternoon. Let's get some information as to number one, where we can get
Mhm.
or where we can access your songs. Now, all of you have content out there, which is brilliant, and I can vouch for the songs that I heard from all of you on this platform this afternoon. Effe,
Wow.
Eben, Joshua. I mean, I can vouch for the songs. Amazing songs, anointed songs, and I know anybody who goes out there to listen to these songs will not be disappointed. So I'm going to come to each of you, tell one where we can access the songs, and then two, in closing, I'll tell me one thing that nobody knows about you. I
Hey.
want to know, and I want the fans to know. So so think about it. So I'm going to, you know, come to you first. So think about it. Where we can access your songs, and one thing that nobody knows about you. Okay, so if let's start.
Yeah, my song is on YouTube, Effe Glover. The Effe is EFFE and then Glover. And then on Facebook, I'm Effe Glover Ministry. And then on Twitter, Effe Glover. Instagram, everywhere is Effe Glover. One thing that nobody knows about
Okay,
me is I'm very jovial. You know, Fantas. I'm very, very jovial, but nobody knows because I'm not out there. I don't usually come live. I'm always indoors, so nobody knows that about me. People actually think that I am
right.
the cool type and the calm person, but I'm not. I'm very jovial, trust me.
Mm, great, great. Before I move to the guy, are you related to Efe Grace in any way? Efe Glover, Efe Grace. Are you related to Efe Grace?
Yeah,
Yeah, I said
I
I
mostly
said, are
share her
you
stuff.
related to Efe Grace in any way? Okay, okay, okay,
No,
okay,
no, no, no.
okay,
I'm not
okay, good.
related to her, but she's a friend.
You're not
So
related
I
to her.
mostly
Okay.
yes,
She's a friend.
I
Awesome.
mostly share her stuff
Awesome.
on my
Awesome.
page.
All right. Okay. Joshua, let's come to you. So,
Okay, so I'm Joshua Hinkra on all the online stores, and on YouTube too is Joshua Hinkra. On Instagram is Kwabena Hinkra. Yeah. So you can search my song on all the online stores, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, everywhere. Joshua Hinkra. Okay, one thing too,
mm,
people don't know about me was that growing up, I thought I would be a footballer because I knew how to play. I know how to play
okay.
football. My uncle promised me that he would take me
Wow.
outside so that I'll go and play a team. Now, here's this young footballer
Wow.
sitting here doing ministry.
Oh,
anytime,
that's awesome. That's awesome. That's a good
anytime,
one.
anytime I talk about my football life, they don't believe it. Make up your mind,
Oh,
Jimmy.
sorry.
I'm not saying I'm saying footballer, but
Oh, I'm missing in football anyway. It is the
Yes,
Lord that knows best.
I know,
Right,
right?
right, right. Eben, what about you?
Okay, so for me to the name on YouTube is Eben Visfat official. So Eben then Visfat Visfat, and on social media it's Eben Visfat everywhere. Then on the online stores you can find me anywhere. Yeah. Then one thing that no one
Okay,
knows about
okay.
me, but that I think everything about me someone knows. So uh,
Are you sure? No, 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 no. No, that I'm sure there is something that we don't know that you need to tell us.
okay, perhaps
I know the secret.
I perhaps I would say that I really feel it when somebody loves me, when somebody expresses love. So sometimes
Wow.
I play like I don't mind and all that, but I'm lying. I feel it when somebody loves me.
Okay.
I said it.
Your wife is I hope your wife is listening.
Yes, yes, oh.
I hope your wife is listening. Right, right, right. But seriously, I would like to say a very, very, very big thank you to
Wow.
all of you for joining me this afternoon. I'm very grateful. I mean, I really mean it. I'm very grateful that when I called on you to come on this chat with me, you just accepted the invitation. Effe, Eben, and Joshua, God richly bless you so much, and I pray for you all that it will only get better. I mean, the Lord will
Sure,
make
sure,
more room for you. The Lord will open
sure.
more doors for you, and all of you go on.
Amen.
And don't hesitate to just call on me anytime that you need any assistance. We can do stuff together. So
Wow.
God,
God
Amen.
bless
God,
you.
God richly bless you. God willing,
Yes,
next week,
amen.
God willing, next week, I will be having. I'll be having Evangeline Bernard, Evangeline. I'll be having Melody Frimpong and also Ruther J right here on
Wow.
Yes.
Chatwith with me. So sure that you make sure that you tune in. For those of you who are watching now, kindly make sure you share the video for as many
Yeah.
people who would be who have picked this to come and watch. Very interesting conversation. And also I want to also implore like I've started a new YouTube channel called Hack TV. So
Okay.
this show will be on there on Hack TV. So try and subscribe and let's all push it and make it work. Okay,
Sure.
so ladies and gentlemen, God bless you and
God
have a
bless
God
you.
lovely
bless you,
day.
bro. And you
Playing
too,
You
out,
man.
have
God bless you. I'm
God
playing
bless
out
you
with the song by
too.
Effe. God bless you. Bye bye.
okay.
Afimus yes yeah no eradina do yeah wayana kwenyi na wo wayine uwa samara na yawo eradi yes yeah my Lord, I believe. My Lord, I believe that all things are possible. My Lord, I believe.
All right. Okay. So thank you very much. And I'm so grateful for your time for joining me on this session of Chat with Daniel Dadson, which came to you live on Facebook. And like I said, just before my guest went off, the program will be uploaded to my new channel on YouTube, which is Hack Television. Hack TV to be precise. So go on then like it. This is a song from Effe Glover. Go onto YouTube and just type Effe Glover, her worship medley, amazing song, and you will be blessed. So have a lovely day. Enjoy the rest of the day and kindly share the video for me. God bless you.